Hi guys! Life in Russia is extremely sad according to the Western media. The industry is backward, the war is lost, and all that sort of thing. But you can say whatever you want, but what is really happening in the country and what achievements has Russian scientists and production in recent years? I don't remember so many important technological breakthroughs in a long time. So I present to you attention far from complete list of 10 projects. And you don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Let's go! The first, commissioning of the floating nuclear thermal power plant Academic Lomonosov. The long, very long construction of this unique facility finally ended with the commissioning of the station in the port of Pevek in Chukotka. For those who don't know what Chukotka is, it is on the other side of the Bering Strait beside Alaska. It's very cold there. There is nothing like it in the world. On May 22, 2020, the Academic Lomonosov floating nuclear power plant was put into commercial operation, and on June 30, heat from it was supplied to the city heating network of the city of Pevek for the first time. The next, Collider NICA in Dubna. This is a global project and the whole scientific world is waiting for its completion. And the cure for research has already been planned. Such mega science project can be implemented by a few countries in the world. NICA is an accelerator complex which is being created on the basis of the Joint Institute of Nuclear Research in Dubna, Moscow region, in order to study the properties of dense bionic matter. And although the collider should be started up this year, it is important part was started up early. The superconductor intermediate thyhotron booster, it will accelerate gold ions to energies of 578 megaelectronic volts per nucleon. After startup, the booster it remains to start only the large ring of the collider. The next, Max class tanker Vladimir Monomach. The tanker built at the Zvezda Super Shipyard was launched, tested and handed over to the customer. This is a symbol of the fact that our first super shipyard, also still under construction, has already been launched and producing the first products. Yes, I know that this first tanker was mostly built in South Korea, and there is nothing to be ashamed of. This country is the world leader in shipbuilding, and we are learning from them. But the localization of each subsequent vessel will grow, and the next tanker will be built entirely at the domestic shipyard. In 2020, for the first time in many years, a nuclear-powered icebreaker appeared in Russia, and it was designed and built in Russia completely from scratch. Let me remind you that so far all the nuclear icebreakers that Russia has, though some of them were completed in Russia, they were all laid down in the USSR. It is important that they are not going to stop at the Arctic alone, and the construction of 4 more icebreakers of this class is already underway, and the Zvezda shipyard has laid down twice as powerful an icebreaker of leaders class. Next, at the end of 2020, the most important event in the domestic aircraft industry took place. The MS-21 aircraft with completely Russian PD-14 engines took off. There was only one country in the world that was able to build mainline passenger liners and engines for them. This is the United States. Now there are 2 such countries again. Even in Europe, similar projects are being built by several countries together. For example, the well-known Airbus is an association of several countries at the same time. The next point, launch of heavy rocket MalinkaRU. In 2020, after a 6-year break, the rocket whose production was transferred from Moscow to Omsk again went into space. This is an important event because as a result of this start, the ability of the Omsk enterprise to produce a rocket was confirmed, which means that the door to the serial production of the MalinkaRU was opened. By the way, this production has already begun. On December 16, 2020, a new Il-113 regional passenger turboprop aircraft made its first flight on the Zhukovsky Air Flight. The aircraft developer is Heard Enterprise of the Transport Aviation Division of the United Aircraft Corporation Aviation Complex named by Ilyushin. This is a long-awaited aircraft in a very necessary niche for Russia, regional turboprop airlines, and today it is the most modern and economical liner in this class in the world. Another point, the first commercial launch from the Vostochny Cosmodrome. But this is not the first start from the new Russian Cosmodrome. This particular start can be considered the first, not a test one, but a routine one. In 2020, the Soyuz second carried rocket launched 36 satellites into space in the interest of OneWeb. The start was complete success. The next, ice-resistant self-propelled platform North Pole. Admiralty Shipyard launched the ice-resistant self-propelled platform North Pole, which was built by order of the Federal Services for Hydrometeorology and Environmental Monitoring. Recently, the platform left the territory of Admiralty Shipyard and went to sea for the first time as part of the factory sea trials that has begun. As reported on the official website of Admiralty Shipyard, testing of the platforms started on Sunday, May 21, 2022. This is a unique ship. I don't know if there is something similar in the world. In fact, this is a replacement for drifting scientific station. The strange shape of the platform body is just dictated by its purpose, and the platform itself is simply crammed with the most modern scientific equipment. And of course, I cannot don't say it about the development by Russia of the world's first vaccine against the new coronavirus Sputnik-V. Russia has improved that it is among the most developed countries in the world and has the strongest scientists. Despite the fact that for political reasons, WHO did not approve our vaccine, it proved to be highly effective both domestically and in countries that purchased the vaccine from Russia. However, despite all the problems, there have been much more achievements over the years. For example, we can recall the start of 3 wind farms in the Rostov region at once, which made the beginning of the serious construction of wind farms in Russia, of the full capacity of the Zapneftekhim plant, which allowed Russia to become a net exporter from polyethylene importers. And by the way, mind you, there is no a single achievement related to the military-industrial complex on my list. No Avangard, Kinjal and Zircon rocket for you, only civilian products. So guys, if you like this video, like it, subscribe to my channel. See you soon, bye bye.